Today we're going to look at the Honda Civic Type R. It's being provided to us by the Larry Miller Honda and Murray. Link to their website in the description down below. We won't be driving this one, but I will have driving footage of another Type R. Now, powering this is a turbo 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 6-speed manual, 315 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. I think it's the perfect amount of power for how much the car weighs. Would it be cool to have more power? Yeah, but not necessary. And yes, the little hood scoop is functional. As always, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe. But you can see it on the top. It's one of the cool markers of the Civic Type R to differentiate it from the regular Civic. Now, you have the regular Civic headlights, but you notice the grille is different. You've got the Type R logo, the red badging, and the front end is way more open, again, for airflow. And then it is wider compared to the regular Civic, and so it has this much more aggressive appearance. It really does stand out quite a bit. Now, you do get upgraded brakes with the Type R. Love the red caliper. Again, goes with the theme of this car. You can see the side skirt there. And you notice that everything's all blacked out on this one. And so you've got this cool contrast with the black and the red. I think it's kind of one of the better color combos you can get on the Type R, even though black's usually kind of quote-unquote boring color. Now, the rear brakes aren't as crazy as the front brakes, but still get a red caliper, right? Now, you get a big old spoiler on the back, and you'll note you've got the hatchback design there. And so you have the light bar, and then of course we've got the key fob here, and you can see that it actually matches, again, with the logo. So I think that that's cool. A lot of automakers are cheaping out on that, whereas, yeah, Honda still did, you know, the custom logos all throughout the car, even on the wheels and everything. I did forget to show you guys the hatch, but it's just a regular Civic hatch. Sorry about that. I was kind of having an off day, I suppose. Now, this is one disappointment with the Type R. Not the door panel. I actually think the trim there is nice for the back seats. It's the fact that the back seats, you know, they still have red seat belts, but they really cheap out the materials. This car's almost 50 grand. The back seats should be just as nice as the front seats. Obviously not bucket design, but I think they should do the nicer trim that you have with the front seats in the back of the Type R. And you can see up front here, again, everything's in the plastic wrapping with this one. That's just because a lot of people actually request that to buy Type Rs. They don't want any of the plastic wrapping or anything taken off the car. They want to do it themselves. But yeah, really nice trim there. You can see, you know, automatic for the front two windows. Again, it's got all the loaded up Civic stuff. These seats are incredibly comfortable. They look great. It's one of my favorite sporty seats. Like, I'm, you know, not like a huge person, but I am a bigger person, and it's one of the sportier cars that I can actually fit in very comfortably with the seat. You guys saw the 3 pedals down below, and then I love the vents in the Civic. I think they look great. Again, another of the red logos. And you got all the practical controls, like your cruise control and everything, and then you can see the cluster here, digital. And with the Type R, you do have some kind of like custom-ish animations of the drive modes. And then you've got the upgraded infotainment system. It just has what you need, right? Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. That's all you need ever. And then I love this. You know, they have the same thing on like the GT350 that I owned, where it's, I don't know, it makes the car feel more custom that way. But yeah, there's your drive modes. It does have auto rev match as well, which is nice. And then you can see the cup holders there. Got storage. Again, it's a practical car. This is the thing that I really like about the Type R, is that even though it's a very sporty car, it's still very practical. No sunroof. You guys can see the MSRP has gone up a bit. Yeah, it's almost $50,000 for the MSRP now. But anyways, we'll be driving a different one. I did this a few years ago, but I mean, the car is going to drive identical to this one. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, do a blind spot monitoring, through the rest of the rear, and let's set off. So we are setting off in the Civic Type R. Now, like normal, when we go through this road, we're going to take it slow on the way in, just to kind of scout things out and get a feel for a car and kind of talk about the daily drivability. And then on the way back out, we'll go a little bit quicker and kind of push the car more. But first off, when it comes to daily drivability, I just recently had the new Integra Type S as a demo, and I can tell you the Civic Type R is not as comfortable as the Integra Type S. Like, you can tell the difference. The Integra Type S has more sound deadening, suspension's a little bit more comfortable. It is more of a luxury car. I don't think that's all good, and I'll kind of talk about that a little bit later. But aside from the Integra Type S, the Civic Type R is still actually a really comfortable daily driver. Like, it's not as comfortable as the Integra, but it's really good.
Now, aside from the daily driver stuff, in terms of fun factor, it kind of reminds me of the Miata to an extent, where you don't have to go fast to have fun, because the steering's really good, the transmission's really good as well. So just kind of going through the gears a little bit here and there, it's fun. It's a really fun car to drive overall. Also, the shifter head keeps coming loose. I don't know if it's because this is a journalist car, but yeah, that's been a little bit annoying. But the weighted feel of it's really good, and again, it's so notchy into the gates. I think that's another really cool part of it. But yeah, so it's a good daily driver. It's comfortable. These seats, although they're really aggressive bucket seats, they're very comfortable. So that's all good. And we actually were able to fit a car seat in the back, so it is car seat approved, I suppose. So we're in first gear. We'll kind of rip it a little bit. I like how it beeps at you when you get up to red line. But yeah, I mean, this engine's, for a 2-liter 4-cylinder, it's pretty fun. It sounds pretty good. Now, some of that might be piped in audio. It's kind of hard to tell. Automakers are getting better at the piped in audio stuff, but regardless, it sounds pretty good. Now, the gearing with the Civic Type R is actually pretty long. So like with this road, for example, we're pretty much just going to be in second gear. So there's not a lot of manual transmission action. And that seems to be kind of like a hallmark of a lot of modern track cars. But the handling's really good. Do you feel that it's front wheel drive? Yeah, you can kind of feel it like pulling out of corners rather than giving it, like with rear wheel drive, right? You always get that push, that shove out of corners. But with all wheel drive, it kind of feels like it's clawing out of the corners. And you do feel that, but you know, Honda's done a pretty good job with kind of isolating everything, so it does feel really good with the overall setup. And it's got tons of grip. Tons and tons and tons of grip. Tons of confidence going through corners and everything. And the damping's really good too, but again, you gotta have it in the comfort setting, because this car's, it is stiffer. It's quite a bit stiffer compared to the, like I said, compared to the Integra. Like this, in the softest setting, is closer to the Integra in the stiffest setting that has. Just to give you guys kind of an idea of the difference. Much or more than the Integra Type S, and I've driven both of the cars on this road, and the answer surprised me. I thought I was going to like the Integra Type S more because, you know, Acura says, hey, that's built for, you know, on-road fun driving more so than being track-oriented. It's better daily driver, all this kind of stuff. But a lot of the stuff they do with the Integra Type S, as weird as this sounds, makes it a worse car in my opinion. Because the Civic Type R, the new Civic, is already super luxurious, especially compared to the previous generation Civic. Like, this already feels more isolated, more of like a luxury car, again, especially when you compare it to the previous Type R. And the Integra Type S knocks that up a little bit, right? It takes it up a notch. And so I like the Civic Type R more because it's got a little bit more of a raw feel. It's luxurious enough, but then it's not too luxurious. I think the Integra Type S is too luxurious. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you go Type R or Integra Type S. I guess the other thing is the markups, right? The Integra Type S can be had, it's pretty easy to get one of those for MSRP, whereas one of these for MSRP, that's really hard to find. And so I guess I would still go on the edge of, if the pricing's the same, like if you have to pay a markup that makes this equivalent to the MSRP of an Integra Type S, I'd probably get the Integra. But if you could get one of these for MSRP, I would get this over the Integra. Let me know your thoughts.
Today's giveaway